Holy moly. Did you know that ground moles don't hibernate? Yeah. All right, so I'm working on the brakes. And I gotta tell you, these rotors, they look good. Like, when this truck was put away and just left to sit next to a tree or under a tree, that's the story anyways. This truck was just left under a tree by the original owner for years. The guy I bought it from him. And then he realized how bad the body was and didn't want to mess with it. So, well, I bought it just for the chassis because this was originally a super cab F-250 chassis, 1978, and that's what I use for Big Orange here. And for those of you who are new, Big Orange, it's a crew cab. There's a video on me modifying the frame to fit the crew cab and all that stuff. Anyways, so this truck only had 79,000 miles on it. I mean, it actually had 79,000 miles, not 179. I mean, I could verify that just by the fact that the original seat wasn't worn out or ripped, the rubber covers on the brake and gas pedal, well, the gas pedal's plastic, but they weren't worn out. They were just like, the hinges aren't worn out, the door regulator wasn't worn out, nothing was worn out. It just really had 79,000 miles and then it was parked. And so I'm looking at these rotors. I don't know if he had a brake job and then parked the thing, but man, there's like, I mean, yeah, it looks a little rusty or whatever. This thing's been sitting forever. But man, I'll tell you what, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But you know what? Point of diminishing returns. Why would I take a rotor off and have it turned? I mean, it's a lot of work on these. It's not like a slip-on hat or anything here. If there's nothing wrong with it, I'll just deglaze it with my little angle grinder with a deglazing pad on it and stick the calipers and put everything back together. I don't see why I should do anything else, to be honest with you. So I'll just check the bearings, make sure that, I even looked at the front axles. I can kind of get back there and pry them with a screwdriver or whatever. There's no play there. So I'm gonna run with it.
Wait a minute here. What about the seals? Those things are probably all old and dried up and no good. Everything is gonna wear out real quick. It might be good for now, but as soon as you start driving this thing, those things are gonna go bad. Because the seals are probably all dried up. Think about this a little bit. Don't be stupid.
Okay, after coming to my senses, a little revelation that I had, strangely, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Anyways, so I took the passenger side axle out here, and sure enough, look at that. Seal is gone. I mean, it's there, but it's not gonna be very effective. Dry is whatever is dry. So yeah, that wouldn't have lasted very long. Sure it would have been tight for a little while, but it wouldn't have lasted long. So the lesson here is, when stuff sits around for a long time, seals go bad. So these U-joints on front axles like this, they have C-clips like this, unlike a regular drive shaft in a rear-wheel drive vehicle. And it goes inside that groove right there. You can see my big fat fingers in the way. Goes inside that groove. So you gotta get the C-clip out first, and then you can drive the U-joint out. Now one of these bad boys was rusted on there pretty good, and I couldn't get it. And let me tell you something. The old air hammer here, for most of my life, had some kind of blind spot for the usefulness of that. And man, for stuff like this, it worked really slick. So, where have you been all my life? Wow! There'll be a sale on needle bearings this afternoon. A little greasy. And there we have it. Freedom. So yeah. If it wouldn't have been for the seals going bad, this would have been perfectly fine. I mean, everything looks good. Needles are fine. Everything was fine. Just the seals went bad. And what do? It's just a ticking time bomb about seals in it. So I do want to talk about these lock nuts real quick. Now, I didn't do that. I didn't put those Nerfs on there, those boogers. So whoever did some work on this years ago, they did that. Don't do that. I guess when you have to, you have to. But apparently they just stuck a punch in there and worked it out with a hammer. You need this guy right here, okay? And should fit on those like that. Now the problem is trying to, a tool doesn't work very good when they're all boogered up. Still was able to get it out with that. So I'll have to clean those up and maybe get some new lock nuts, I don't know. But what I want to show you is how this works, because it may not be apparent to everyone. So let me do that. Let's pretend you have your bearings and everything, and everything's on there. And so you got two lock nuts. This first one has this pin right here, that pin, and the other one does not. So bearings go on there, the outer bearing, pretend with me. And the one with the pin spins on, tighten it up. You go to a certain torque and back it off a little bit. And then you put the lock ring on, the tab, and you got the slot. So that goes on there. Now, that pin has to line up with one of these holes, so you have to kind of find it close. So like you'd have to back it off just a little bit so that pin locks in there. That's what locks everything. And then you put the second nut. You put the second nut on there.
Tighten down. Bada boom, bada bing.
And then it's all locked in. So that's how that works. So you make sure that pin goes into the lock washer and the pin nut goes on first, pin out, lock washer, other nut. Some might not be aware of that. Just thought it would help. I guess that's a tech tip. So tech tips from Uncle Jessie. What do you think of that, Dixie? All right, let me start over. Yeah, wow. It's a beautiful Saturday, day before Easter. We got caliper brackets painted. We're just doing a bunch of wire wheeling. And like I said, I got the caliper brackets. they look better here than they really are. I mean, you know, this thing was a little rusty, so. But that's all wire wheel action. And I did tape off the slider area. I don't believe it's good to have paint really on the slider area. You just gotta load that up with some anti-seize. The whole beginning of this video is pointless. I was a little optimistic about the condition of everything. As I already stated, the U-joints in the front axles were replaced. We'll be doing that. And those rotors, they're straight. They were turned, but the thing just sat there like I said. And after trying to clean them up, they're worse than I thought. They're pretty pitted. Let me show you. Come follow me. So I got one off already. I don't know if it'll show up very well, but they're pretty pitted. Here's the other one. I gotta take it off the hub yet. Yeah, there you go. You can see right there. There's a lot of that. So, it does appear there's enough meat on these to get turned. It won't take much. And you know what? When you can, I believe these are OEM rotors. And the metal, the steel, the metallurgy, whatever it is, it's just way better back then on rotors and stuff like that. This new stuff, I don't know if it's just the cheap Chinese steel or I don't know what it is. But this newer stuff doesn't last very long. It warps really easy. So whenever possible, if you can get OEM rotors, especially from back in the day, new old stock, if that's even possible, get it. So, but like I said, these things, they should be enough. There's like 30, I think it was 35 thousandths can be taken off before they're down to minimum. And that should more than do it, I hope. It is nice that it's nice out again now. So I think I'm going to end this video here before it gets too long. I'd thought about just getting rid of the beginning and acting like it never happened, but why not? Why not show all my warts, all my laziness? You know, I was trying to be lazy, really. Save a buck. I mean, I guess there's a time for that, but not for Big Orange. Anyway, so we'll end this video here, and the next video you should see some progress. I plan on getting some time in the near future to actually get some stuff done instead of working on. It's hard to get much done working on a few minutes here and a few minutes there, but at least I can do that much. But we're gonna try and put some serious time in pretty soon. So until next time, I'm out.